Hey everyone, I'm Timmy Scott, and if you're new here, welcome. As you can tell by the title of this video, I want to continue talking about positive, I guess you could call them podcast type videos. This is about the only fan I got close to me. Just kidding. But no, seriously. I want to keep continuing a positive podcast type inspirational video for people who might find benefit out of this. I also have a couple things I want to address real quick here before I get into it. First one, I came up with an idea of where I want to take my channel. This is still going to be a podcast, positive podcast type of channel, but I want to take it into a more different route. What I want to do with it. I just got to work out some angles to get it to work and pull through. So that was my first thought. My second one is to the family member I know who keeps constantly disliking my videos out of spite. I know you have a lot of insecurities, but could you please do this favor and leave me alone altogether? It does no good constantly putting a dislike out of my videos out of spite because I know you're insecure and you have a lot of problems and issues. But don't use your insecurities to put a dislike out of spite on my videos. Find something else with your life. Unsubscribe from my channel if it makes you feel any better. Unsubscribe. Stop disliking them. Leave my channel alone altogether. I did you a favor of leaving you alone. Now you can do the favor for me. Because it doesn't help at all whatsoever. Doing it out of spite. Now that I got that out of my system, wanted to address that one more time. Now that I, again, got that out of my system, I want to continue with, again, the positive podcast type of thing. So, as I mentioned before, you can't lead a positive life with a negative mind. It doesn't work that way. And what I mean by that is, if you're constantly surrounded by negativity, and you have a negative mindset, it's not gonna work for you. You're not gonna be in that, and you're not gonna lead that kind of life if you want to be positive. Now, as I mentioned, we're gonna have our dark days. We're gonna be depressed. We're gonna be sad, angry, all that. But at the same time, if you're putting out negativity all the time, it's only gonna come back to you. Even if you think negative, you're gonna get negativity back to you, and that's just how it works. At least for me. At least that's how I see it. As I mentioned before, I lived in a violent environment once in my life. And I started to accept that. I started to accept the fact that I'm going to be in this type of environment. It started with my parents. Then when I lived in Chicago, it wasn't what I was hoping for. And I'll break it down for you. A while ago, I had a dream. A little over a year ago. Maybe, give or take. Whatever. And for months at a time. If you don't know what a crystal ball is, for those who don't know what a crystal ball is, it's about seeing into the future, good or bad. Anyway, I had a dream of a man holding a crystal ball. Next thing I saw, it broke, and then I woke up. So from that point forward, I thought to myself, what does this mean? Why did it break? And looking at it now, it makes sense. Chicago wasn't going to be my future. It wasn't going to be a long-term future. Now when I left, as I mentioned, I was still at that mindset, in denial, I guess, thinking to myself, I want to go back, at least for a visit. Maybe it won't be as what I thought it was when I first was there. Maybe it won't be the way I was hoping for, or whatever. But it had me thinking that it's not my future. I'm not I didn't have a clear head where I was. I wasn't as well grounded. The energy is dense. Now, Chicago isn't as, like, the whole city itself isn't as bad as people make it out to be. But depending where you are, I guess it's different. I don't want sympathy. I don't expect sympathy from people. But I just want people to understand this. That if you're gonna have a negative mindset and you put out negativity is gonna come back to you, whether you realize it or not. And for the most part, unfortunately, you're not gonna accept that, or you're just gonna accept the fact that it's gonna be negative pretty much the whole entire time in the type of environment you're living in. Again, you put out negativity is just gonna come back to you, and that's just how it's gonna always be. So, ever since I moved to where I am now, as I've mentioned before, I've been more well-grounded more often than not, more clear-headed, better, positive environment, being guided in the right direction than when I once was. I like being guided in the right direction, more positive, right direction. People who understand me. And again, I don't expect and want sympathy, but I just want people to understand what I went through. And that's where I live, people do. People understand, the ones that have come in contact with me so far, understand what I went through. They don't give me sympathy, but they understand what I went through. And that's what, unfortunately, where I once was, people don't get. And again, if you put out negativity is just going to come back to you. And I've addressed this before. If you start to accept the fact that this is how you're going to be, if you're in a negative place, you're always just going to have that negative mindset. And you're not going to have people guiding you the right way. And that's where coming into play where I live. I have people guiding me the right way, putting me in a better, well-grounded, clear-headed area. I love that. I have more days often than not. I am finally getting to really, truly accept myself. Not be as open as I once was when I lived with my parents and lived in Chicago and all that. I got to that point where I'm not, again, as open, but open enough to where people understand me. And I love that. I love being able to, where someone walks by me and say hi to me. I didn't get that to where I would live before. I mean, yeah, there's some good people out in Chicago, but that's anywhere really. Anyway, it's like, once I got out here, as I mentioned before, again, I became more well-grounded, more clear-headed, being able to see things and understand things, how they work. Because again, I have someone and people I'm meeting who guide me the right way, a better positive life for myself and helping them. And it's like one of the best feelings. They mostly help me, but that's beside the point. What I'm getting at is, if you have someone guiding you the right way you should be guided, your life is going to be more better than it was before. And I'm starting to understand where I came from, what I am, or what I once was that I couldn't help at the time. I was starting to accept the fact, when I lived in Chicago, I was going to be, I don't want to say I was going to be a violent person, but that's just how I was being raised, and I wasn't having people guide me the right way I should have been guided to. When you have people guide you the right way, it puts you in a position to be more positive, have a better mindset, a more positive mindset. It helps. That helps. And it just feels more exciting. Again, like I said, being in an environment where I'm at that's more positive and positive vibes. I like that. I like being around positive people who help me be more well-grounded, guide me the right way I should be guided. compared to when I lived with my parents and lived in Chicago. I have people guiding me the way I should have been guided. And I'm starting to accept that. I'm starting to, again, more often than when I first got out here, where I am now, people are guiding me the way I should be, and it's like, I'm not where I once was in my life. And that makes sense. I like that. And if you have people that are guiding you the right way and making you more positive or whatever, and keeping you away from people that are negative, I guess, and you see that, and they're guiding you about how you should be a certain way, in a more positive way, more well-grounded, more clear-headed. Take that, because it helps you be more positive and have a more positive mindset. Because you can't live a positive life with a negative mind. It doesn't work that way. It won't work that way. Negativity will just keep coming back to you. And you will, in your head, you'll think to yourself, why am I getting a negative response or whatever? It's because people aren't guiding you the way you should be guided. Helping you be the best person you want, to the best of your abilities, living a better life for yourself and for anyone around you. And if you can see that and stuff like that, then you can try to get out of it. That's what I did anyway. And that's what I want people, I guess, to see, that what I'm getting at is, if you accept you're living in a negative life, you're always going to be surrounded by negativity, whether you realize it or not. And unfortunately, more often than not, people don't realize that. And that's the unfortunate part of life on that part. For them, anyway. For me, I didn't want to be surrounded by negativity. I really honestly didn't, but I had no choice. And now that I'm in a better place, people guiding me the way I should be, but not extremely open, but just open enough to the point where it helps me and everything like that. It makes me feel more well-grounded more often than not, and more clear-headed, being able to understand where I came from, and being able to realize that I'm better where I was and stuff like that, and it's going to be more my future than where I was. I'll explain it one more time. I think I've explained it before. Anyway, again, I had a dream of a man holding a crystal ball, and he was smiling, and then next thing I know, it broke, and I didn't understand why. Like I said, I didn't understand why, and for the longest time I couldn't get it. And given realizing Chicago isn't my future, Chicago, there's a lot of negativity around it, it's like, I understand it now. I'm getting better at realizing it. And again, being out here in the place I'm at helps me be more well-grounded, more clear-headed, thinking things for myself, having the right people guide me the right way I should be guided. It's like I'm becoming a more positive person than what I once was. I mean, I always try to be, but that's whatever. I want to know your opinion. I want to know your input. Now that we're toward the end of this video, I know I have some friends that went through the same thing. I don't want your sympathy. I don't expect sympathy. I don't want it. I just want people to understand where I came from. And there are people that do, that watch my videos. Sorry. And for those that do, thank you for understanding where I came from. And again, I don't expect and want your sympathy. I just want you to understand where I came from. Maybe I could help you. Again, I want to ask your opinion. Have you realized you were always surrounded by a negative environment, being around negative people? Don't hesitate to leave it in the comments. Are there people guiding you the way that you should be guided, like where I'm coming from, where I am in my life? I want to get into another type of positive podcast type thing. I should also say, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments. I want to know your positive opinion about this. I want to get into another part of this. I also want to talk about empaths and people who don't leave fake smiles and stuff like that. Sorry, it's a bad habit I have. I can't help it. Anyway, I want to be able to talk about empaths and all that and get people to, I guess, have a better understanding of who they are. I know there's videos out there like it, but for me, I consider myself one. Anyway, that's going to be for a whole nother video. So just going to leave it with this. If you try to lead a positive life but have a negative mind, it won't work for you. It never does. Take it from my account. I was in an area, like I mentioned before, in my life where I was surrounded by constant negativity, and it never helped me. It never did. I didn't have people guiding me the right way. So again, leave them in the comments. I want to know your opinion. I know I've had people tell me they've tried to lead a positive life, and I'm glad for that. I'm glad you understand that. I'm glad you realize that yourself. But anyway, do you think people don't accept the fact they're around a negative environment? You can't see that. I want to know your opinion. And like I said, I'm going to make a video. I know there's videos out there like this, but I'm going to make a video about empaths. As myself as being one, knowing the emotional and physical toll. Whatever. Again, like I said, I want to know your opinion. I'm going to make another video about empaths and stuff like that. And with that being said, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Looking forward to seeing positive comments out there. And I know I will from a few friends of mine. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.